John Marshall was born on September 24th, 1755, in a small town called Fauquier County in Virginia. Marshall was the firstborn out of 15 to the parents of Thomas Marshall and Mary Randolph Keith. This had affected him because he had to mature at an earlier age than most kids. Marshall was mainly homeschooled until after high school, where he studied at the College of William and Mary and also attended Campbell Academy. George Washington was a major influence on Marshall. At the time, he was only 20 years old, but Washington inspired him into joining the military so that he could contribute in the formation of a new nation. After the American Revolutionary War, Marshall left the military in 1780 to study law. He fell in love and later married the woman of his dreams, Mary Willis Ambler Marshall. He practiced his law success when defending clients against the British creditors. Marshall became Secretary of State in 1800. His hard work was recognized when he was appointed Chief Justice in 1801. Thomas Jefferson was Marshall's cousin, and he became president the same year. Although they were family, they had different political views. Marshall passed away July 6, 1835, in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He is seen as one of the most important judicial figures in American history.
Dred Scott, a slave, was purchased by Dr. John Emerson, an Army surgeon, in 1833 from St. Louis, Missouri. From there, they moved to Illinois, which was a free state, and a fort territory in Wisconsin. In 1843, Dr. John Emerson passed away. He gave the ownership of the slave rights to his widowed wife, Mrs. Sandford. In 1846, Dred Scott urged to fight for his rights and give his freedoms back. He argued against Mrs. Sandford that he was a free man and he deserved his rights since he had lived in 2 previous states that had banned slavery. Dred Scott argued that since he had lived in a free state where slavery is banned, that he was a free man. The Missouri state courts had declared him free. However, it went to the Supreme Court, where it was overturned due to the Supreme Court believing that it violated the constitutional rights. In 1857, the U.S. Supreme Court came to a final decision. The court ruled against Scott with claims of African Americans who were slaves or had ancestors were entitled to the rights of a federal citizen. Also, they stated that slaves were only property and slave owners had a right to keep their property. Therefore, this upheld Dred Scott's claim of being a free man. The U.S. Supreme Court's final decision on the Dred Scott case only increased the rising tensions between the North and the South. It clearly shows the different views both sides had on slavery. In addition to that, it added more field power to the American Civil War between the North and the South. Also, it had a great impact on the amendments and made changes that benefited the U.S. in a major way.